At 4:37 in the morning, while the entire city was asleep, Armin sat alone on the cold floor of his small rented room. The alarm on his phone kept ringing, but he didn't move. Bills were unpaid. Dreams felt distant. And hope, the thing he once believed in, felt like a lie. He whispered quietly, "Maybe I'm just not meant to succeed." Outside, the world was silent. Inside his mind, chaos screamed. He had tried everything, working harder, watching motivational videos, making big plans every new year. Yet nothing changed. Same struggles, same failures, same disappointment. That morning, Armin was seconds away from giving up completely. But what happened next changed his entire life forever. Section 1. The boy who dreamed big. Armin was not always like this. As a child, he believed he could become anything. He loved learning. He imagined success. He promised his parents he would one day change their lives. But life slowly replaced dreams with reality. After finishing college, he expected opportunities. Instead, he found rejection. Job interview after job interview ended the same way: "We'll call you." They never did. Friends moved ahead. Social media showed everyone winning. Meanwhile, Armin felt stuck. Every failure added one more invisible weight to his shoulders. And slowly, without realizing it, he stopped believing in himself. Section 2. The dangerous habit nobody notices. One evening, while scrolling endlessly on his phone, Armin noticed something strange. Hours had passed. He had done nothing. No learning. No progress. No action. Just scrolling. That night, he realized something painful. He wasn't losing because life was unfair. He was losing because of small daily habits. Late waking. Endless distractions. Negative thinking. Waiting for motivation instead of creating discipline. Failure wasn't one big moment. It was tiny decisions repeated every day. And those small habits were silently destroying his future. Section 3. The turning point. A few days later, Armin met an old teacher at a tea stall. The teacher looked at him carefully and asked, "Why do you look tired without doing anything?" Armin laughed sadly. "Sir, I try, but nothing works." The teacher smiled and said something simple but powerful. Success doesn't come from motivation. It comes from daily habits. Armin listened quietly. The teacher continued, "Improve just one every day. Not everything. Just one small thing." Then he added, "Never give up. Not because success is guaranteed, but because growth is." Those words stayed in Armin's mind all night. For the first time, success didn't feel like a giant mountain. It felt like one small step. Section 4. Day 1. The hardest beginning. The next morning, Armin set his alarm for 5 a.m. When it rang, his body begged him to sleep. His mind created excuses. "Start tomorrow. You need rest. One day won't matter." But something inside him whispered, "This is the moment your life changes." He stood up. Not perfectly, not confidently, just stood up. That small action became his first victory. He made his bed, went for a short walk, read 2 pages of a book. Only 2 pages. But for the first time in months, he felt progress. Section 5. The power of small wins. Days passed. Nothing magical happened. No sudden success. No big opportunities. But something invisible was changing. His energy improved. His thoughts became clearer. His confidence slowly returned. He started tracking tiny habits. Section 11. Success didn't feel like success. 6 months passed. Armin expected that once life improved, happiness would automatically arrive. But something surprising happened. Even after earning money and improving his routine, he still felt restless. One night he asked himself, Why do I still feel incomplete? He realized something important. He had changed his habits, but not yet his mindset completely. Deep inside, fear still lived. Fear of failure, fear of losing progress, fear of going back to his old life. And that fear almost stopped him again. Section 12. The comfort zone trap. As his work grew, Armin became comfortable. He followed the same routine daily. Safe work, safe goals, safe effort. Progress slowed. One evening, while reviewing his journal, he noticed a pattern. He was no longer growing. He was repeating. That night he wrote a powerful sentence. Comfort is the enemy of improvement. Growth requires discomfort. So he decided to challenge himself again. He increased learning hours, started speaking publicly online, shared his journey despite fear of judgment. At first, almost nobody watched, but he continued anyway, because now he understood consistency matters more than attention. Section 13. When life tests you again, just when everything seemed stable, life tested him. A major client suddenly stopped working with him. Income dropped instantly. Old anxiety returned. For a moment, the old Armin came back. Negative thoughts whispered, "See? Nothing lasts. You will fail again." He sat silently, staring at his screen. This was the moment that separates dreamers from achievers. Would he quit or continue? He remembered his first morning at 5 a.m. He remembered standing up when quitting felt easier. So instead of panicking, he opened his notebook and wrote, "Focus on actions, not fear." The next morning, he worked twice as hard. Section 14. The power of discipline over emotion. Armin discovered a truth most people never learn. Successful people don't feel motivated every day. They simply show up. Some mornings he felt tired. Some days he doubted himself. But he followed his system anyway. Wake up. Learn. Work. Improve. Feelings changed daily. Habits stayed constant. And habits carried him forward when emotions failed. Section 15. The silent growth nobody sees. Months later, something amazing happened. People began asking him for advice. How did you become disciplined? How did you change your life? Armin smiled because they only saw the results. They didn't see the lonely mornings, the failures, the self-doubt, the days he worked without recognition. Success looked sudden to others, but he knew it was built slowly, quietly, invisibly, like sunrise, gradual before bright. Section 16. Helping others changed everything. One day, a young student messaged him, "Your story helped me stop giving up." Those words hit deeper than money or success ever had. For the first time, Armin understood purpose. Self-improvement wasn't only about personal success. It was about becoming strong enough to inspire others. He began sharing daily lessons, small habits, consistency, mindset shifts. And strangely, the more he helped others grow, the more he grew himself. Section 17. The day he almost quit again. Even strong people struggle. One exhausting week, overwhelmed with work and pressure, Armin felt burnout. He skipped workouts, ignored routines. Doubt returned quietly. Standing in front of a mirror, he asked, "Am I becoming the old version again?" Instead of blaming himself, he chose awareness. He rested one day, reflected, then restarted slowly. Because he learned an important lesson. Falling off track is normal. Staying there is the real failure. Section 18. The compound effect of daily habits. After one full year, Armin compared his life to the past. The difference shocked him, not because of one big achievement, but because of thousands of small actions. One early morning times 365 days, one lesson learned daily times 365 days, one small improvement times 365 days. Small habits had multiplied into a completely new identity. He wasn't chasing success anymore. He had become the type of person who naturally attracts it. Section 19. The real meaning of never giving up. Armin finally understood. Never giving up doesn't mean never feeling tired. It means continuing despite tiredness. It doesn't mean life becomes easy. It means you become stronger. Giving up is a single decision. Success is 1,000 small decisions repeated daily. Section 20. The final message. Powerful ending for YouTube. Years later, Armin stood in front of an audience sharing his story. He ended with these words. People think success comes from talent or luck. He paused. It comes from the days you didn't feel like continuing, but did anyway. The room became silent. Then he said, if you improve just a little every day, your future self will thank you.